The Joburg Council now has a new speaker, and ActionSA's Nobuhle Mthembu was elected earlier on today, and she joins us live now. Congratulations to you, and thank you so much for your time. What is first on your agenda?
Good evening, Bonio, and thank you so much for the invite. First thing on the agenda is to get legislature to the people, meaning more community engagement. The speaker must not be seen in her office more, but she must be seen among the residents of the city of Johannesburg and champion community engagement and public participation.
And of course, the issue of public participation is quite a big one, as we've seen in some of the instances that communities are raising a concern about the fact that if you have so many mayors in such a short space of time and council is seen to be unstable, how then do you begin to deliver services?
Look, it becomes a problem, hence all political parties or the ANC and ActionSA had to sit down and think about this, because I think everyone has been tired of the instability, and you're quite right. I think we've had 4 to 5 different mayors from 2021, which is ridiculous. That's why we found that the municipality was not functioning. So it's just political parties coming together for the sake of the residents and putting our own political differences aside, because we need residents to be able to participate in our public engagement, especially with the IDP sessions. They need to know what has been budgeted for their wards and how that budget is being tapped on, right? So they need also to come and be informed of new changes that are coming into their communities, new changes such as, for example, the 200 rand surcharge. There was a public participation done, but a lot of our residents missed it. So they could have stopped that process before it even got implemented in council. So that shows that there's a bit of a communication when it comes to legislature and the residents of the city, because majority of people don't even know in the speaker's office what is the responsibility of the speakers. They don't even know that they can even go to the speaker and approach it about certain things that are affecting the municipality that they're not happy about. So it's just about us informing them and teaching them.
I'm keen to hear, when you were sitting as these different political parties, what was your assessment when it comes to what's going wrong or going right in the city? And I ask this against the backdrop of what you said earlier. You said that the city has deteriorated over the past years, but when you listen to the ANC through its briefing last week, they paint a picture of a year that has gone by, with so much that has been done for service delivery. You listen to the former mayor, Kabelo Kwamanda, who also speaks about what has been done and how things have been going. But then you are saying that, in fact, there has been a decline over time. So I'm keen to hear, from which lens were you all looking at the city, and what conclusion did you come to?
Look, from our side, we're sitting on opposition benches, which we are still occupying up to date, because we are the constructive opposition. And if we look from when the term started in 2021, a lot of things transpired in the city of Johannesburg. The first one I can speak on is the Bree Street gas explosion. Then after that, we had the Osindiso fire that broke out, where 77 people unfortunately lost their lives. Up to date, there is no plan that was implemented to make sure that we reclaim the high-tech buildings in the inner city. When you look at the gas explosion, up to date, the contractor was stopped, which means that will delay the whole process of repairing that road. Look, what I'm trying to say is we all had to come together as political parties and be of the view that we want the inner city or the municipality to function. And one of the goals for us to achieve that is by having inner city rejuvenation, which means we're coming up with plans. All of us agree that inner city rejuvenation is very important. Number one, we are going to reclaim all the hijacked buildings and turn them into low-cost housing units or student accommodation. Remember, before all of us started having this engagement about making the municipality stable, we did submit such motions in the past, but they were not successfully passed to be items in council. But now that everyone is aware that the municipality is stagnant, the municipality is not moving forward. That's why people just said political differences aside, we want the municipality to function, we want stability for the sake of our residents. Currently, our residents are not even sure if they open the taps, water is going to come out. We had a period almost 4 to 6 months where residents, when they try to open their taps, there's no water coming out. They don't even know where to find water tankers. So everyone knows what is happening in the city of Johannesburg. Hence, we're coming up with new ways of collaborating for the better advantage of our residents. And that's where we are currently.
So when one reads, different media reports, for example, News 24, quoting someone you might be very familiar with there in council, the DA's Belinda Kaiser Echezonzoku, saying that they're deeply concerned because coalition partners who are part of this agreement, part of what she's calling a governing coalition, are unable to speak from one mouth on issues directly impacting the city. This has been an issue over time when it comes to not speaking, in one voice about what needs to be done, and that's leading to some instability, that's leading to some turbulences when it comes to council. So are you saying that all of you are rallying behind one vision, we are not going to see what we've been seeing before?
Look, when it comes to what the Democratic caucus leader is saying, they had numerous opportunities to stabilize the city of Johannesburg, which, by the way, they did not do that. Currently, when you look at the 200 rand surcharge, remember from ActionSA, we wanted the decision to be rescinded or at least review that. And the MMC then of Finance, which was Dada Morero, who is now the mayor, in council said it publicly that next year, when it comes to adjustment period, that is something that they are willing to do. Let's all review that amount and see how to collect revenues from other places, right? Come up with those solutions first before scrapping that whole amount. So that shows that all of us at least agree on one thing, that the residents cannot afford the 200 rand surcharge. That's a good place to start,
So,
I would
Speaker,
say.
pardon me to come in there. It's one thing to agree on one point, but it's another for the residents who have been watching council unstable over time. Can the residents tonight be assured that they're not going to see more of the chaotic scenes, the instability that they've seen over time?
Yes, they can. Residents must judge us on our track record. When we came into our term as ActionSA in 2021, residents must look at what have we done as a caucus. I remember, apart from the 200 rand surcharge, when it comes to pick it up, labor issues, we're always supporting the workers because we do not want the residents to suffer. Remember when there was that pick it up strike, residents were suffering because refuse was not being collected. When it comes to the hijacking of buildings, the reason why we're advocating for this is because we are sitting in a municipality whereby there's a lot of opportunities for people to be employed, but we're sitting with our assets and not using them. Hence, we're advocating for let's reclaim our hijacked buildings, reclaim them so that at least we can get money from them and residents can get housing units, because we know there's a huge backlog when it comes to human settlement.
Yeah.
Students who come to the urban area from rural areas who cannot afford student accommodation, at least they can come and use facilities that are offered by the city of Johannesburg. So when you look at our track record, these are things that we've been championing. So it's nothing new that maybe now, because we are working on issue by issue with the African National Congress, will come up with new things and not deliver.
Yeah.
Judge us on our track record.
So when it comes to reclaiming these hijacked buildings, what's the deadline?
There is no deadline when it comes to reclaiming the hijacked buildings. Remember, reclaiming the hijacked buildings is not only about that, but it's the inner city rejuvenation, which means we must first target also the illegal trade trading that's happening in the city. Number two, the crime. We must tackle the crime that is happening in the inner city. So things like that. So it's a big package that we call inner city rejuvenation, which is a project for all of us political parties, because if Johannesburg fails, a lot of people's lives will be affected. Hence, we are sitting with a high unemployment rate. And currently, as the municipality, we didn't have a plan on how to at least participate in the economy and growing the economy of the city of Johannesburg. But we just sat together and started identifying certain areas whereby we can capitalize on, and inner city rejuvenation is one of those items. So currently, at this present moment, because discussions were only concluded last week, and this is not only about Johannesburg, it's about Gauteng. So it includes Ekurhuleni, it includes Tshwane, and those two other municipalities. The discussions are not concluded. So it's still an ongoing thing until Gauteng in counting completely is concluded in discussions. Then they can put those timelines and so forth.
So we're out of time. Briefly, there's no deadline, but so it means that residents could wait up to 10 years to see this inner city rejuvenation project finished if you're not setting yourselves timeframes.
No, definitely not 10 years. Remember, we've got up to 2026, and then we go to local government elections. When you look at even our Metro Center, something that's urgent. Metro Center also, it's urgent because we can't go and continue renting other buildings while our own home is in a mess. So inner city rejuvenation is a priority. When it comes to timelines, it's something we'll share in the next coming few weeks. I just don't want to give you incorrect information, and then a week later you come back, then it will seem like I'm misleading the public. That's one thing that I don't want to do until I have accurate timelines.
All right, Speaker, appreciate your time this evening. Certainly, as you say, there's a lot to be done in order to ensure that residents regain confidence in the city. And as you say, public engagement is going to be quite huge on your agenda. So thank you so much. Do appreciate your time this evening. That's ActionSA's, in fact, Nobuhle Mthembu, who has been elected as the new Speaker of the City of Johannesburg's Council.